Welcome to another episode of FanJam's Sports Talk Show. I'm your host for tonight, Kurt. I'm here solo. I haven't been here for 2 weeks now, so I guess the other pundits decided that it's my time to take reins all alone. But nevertheless, the show must go on, and we have a lot to catch up on. All right, so thank you, viewers, for joining us again tonight. If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, or any things you'd like my opinion on, or anything like that, please feel free to just leave that in the comment and we can have a discussion. If anyone would like to come on and join the show, feel free to do so. I'm here alone tonight, so I'm accepting guest pundits tonight. So yeah, feel free to join. So all right, so it's been a busy 2 weeks for netball all around the world. So we saw where England, they had the closing out of their Vitality Super League. The finals were held. Um, Loughborough Lightning and Team Bart faced off in the finals, and Leeds Rhinos, making new club making the top four for the first time. They played reigning defending champion, Manchester Town in that third and fourth playoff. And I was really excited by those two games. They were two really, really good quality games. And I mean, I don't know if I think the winners were quite obvious in my head. I know a lot of persons tipped um Bath to go all the way, but Loughborough got them in the end. And for me, Loughborough, they deserve this win because if you have been following the Super League over the last few seasons, they have been grand finalists a number of times and they have always come up short. And this was the year for them. They had a solid team. And I said it at the start of last year before COVID came that if Loughborough could sort out their goalkeeper, like as someone with a bit more height, because they had Keenan and she was getting ball, but they were they were allowing too much goals in, and because of her height, obviously, and the shooters in the league being so tall, and I didn't think they have that structure, that defensive structure out in front of Keenan, who is a shorter goalkeeper, to give her enough protection for her to be effective. So that was a challenge for them. So I always said if they had a good goalkeeper, a taller goalkeeper, sorry, not a good, a taller goalkeeper, they would be a force to be reckoned with. Of course, with the likes of Mary Challock at the other end, who, she won the Golden Award, the Golden Shot Award. She scored the most goals throughout the season. And at 6'7", guys, you're going to say, oh, she's supposed to shoot the most goals, but if you have watched the league, you'd have realized that even though she's 6'7", it's hard work just the same because the defenders are all over her. Sometimes she has to be taking the ball with two defenders on her. So yeah, really good on Mary, and I'm really proud of her growth since she has joined the league. Loughborough on a whole, they have done really well under the guidance of Sarah, and looking forward to see what they can do. But Team Bart on the other hand, they finished runner up, and Team Bart is stacked with roses. Like they have so much international players, current Vitality roses in that squad, and headlined by the Roses captain Serena Guthrie. They will be gutted that they didn't go all the way. Had they actually beat Loughborough twice in the season before, so I'm sure they probably were a bit confident that they would get them in the final. But that's the thing, and that these are the reasons why these are the reasons why we play the game, because you never know. Come game day, it's who really show up and bring that intensity that will come out on top. So really, really good stuff. I'm sure Team Bart will take a lot out of that game as well, and they will bring it into next season for sure. The other game with Thunder versus Leeds. I'm quite disappointed in Thunder because I think they were finding some really, really good form in the back end of the season, and I was expecting them. I tipped them to go all the way, but I don't know. It fell apart in that semi-final game. against Steamboat. They lost by 3 again, and I mean, it was some silly. It was really some silly errors, and I mean, I'm sure they will be kicking themselves, but they are quality side, and they will bounce back from this, and I'm sure they'll be up there again. The surprise package, and I'm sure most people are really, really proud of what um, Leeds Rhinos put out on the court throughout the season. I mean, the introduction of Daniel Wallum into the league and some new players that they brought onto the scene who were fringe players like Brie Grayson, um, the and the other young players that came through the system. And yeah, I'm like you, we were in awe the entire season about what they were doing under the leadership of Dan Ryan, and I'm saying, wow, really, really amazing stuff. And for a new club and for them to make top 4 out of 11 in their first ever Super League season, it's I don't know. For me, that sets up the club well for years to come. And kudos to them, and I wish them all the best in the future. All right, so that's it for Vitality. We will keep an eye over on Vitality because now that the season has ended, you will start having player trades. So we will definitely be we will definitely be keeping our eyes peeled over there to see who's moving, if there's any shift, if Mvula going Sun Carp, or any little news that we can get, we'll be here to share them with you right away. So let's move over now to the Suncorp Super League. 2 weeks. We were missing 2 weeks, so we missed some of the round 8 games. And round 9 had 4 full games. As you guys know, in round 8, the Vixens Fever game wasn't played because of some restrictions. Initially, it was announced that that game would be cancelled. However, it is now being postponed. So a new date for that will be announced soon. I'm sure everyone loves to see Fever play, especially Jamaican fans, because our own Janil Fowler is on that team. So I know we want to see Fever play. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on that as well. So for me, round 9 of the Suncorp League so far, I would call it the upset round because in my head, all the favorites, based on form, based on first round results, they lost. So Vixen started it off. They're the one who started the trend. They beat Lightning in a thriller 55-52. And I mean, absolutely nobody expected that because Lightning, they're top of the table. Vixens, they're in last place. It's not very often you see first losing out to the last place team on the ladder, but it just shows how competitive the league is. And each time you go out there to play, they have to carry their A game just to ensure that they maintain their positions on the ladder. And then another big upset, Fever went down to Swifts, and what an exciting game this was. For me, this was the game of the round. It went down to the wire, and I I tipped Fever to go undefeated all season, but I did say if they are going to lose a match, it would be against the Swifts, and I'm still tipping a Fever Swifts grand finals. And for me, Fever will come out and win that game whenever they meet Swifts again because guess why? So we often see you learn more from a loss than a win, and I think that's definitely true. And Fever, they were down by 7, 8 goals in that last quarter, and they took Janil off the court for one, which I mean it wasn't a bad move. It paid off in the end. And they brought on Alice Neal and Sasha Glasgow, who are two quality long range shooters. And they sung super shots and they brought the game back to within one. If they had timed that run of super shot goals just a little bit earlier, maybe from the last 5 minutes of the third quarter, they would have actually caught Swifts earlier and probably passed them. So I'm sure they will learn from that and they'll work on the timing and how much goal is comfortable for them to let a team go out by before changing up their structures. So yeah, plenty to look at for Fever. Also, when the other game of the round, Magpies versus Thunderbirds. So everyone knows I'm a Magpies fan. I wanted Magpies to win, but Thunderbird, they are really improving week after week, and you can see it, the vibe in their camp is really, really good. If you watch that match and you look at the end of the game, how they celebrated after the game, you saw just how much it meant to them, and they are really, really working hard behind the scenes. Magpies, of course, were without their usual goal attack and goal assist queen Gabby Sinclair, and that obviously left her then because they struggled with the goal attack position between Khalifa and training partner Nia Allen, and I mean they just couldn't get it right. However, the highlight of that game was our Jamaican intercept queen Shamira Sterling. She was absolutely blazing in that game. She got 8 intercepts for that game and about 10 deflections, rebounds. She was all over the place and she kept Thunderbirds in the game every time the Magpies threatened. So, yeah, very good game as well. And in the last game of the round, another top four team lost to a bottom four team. So the Giants went down to Firebirds. Firebirds looking like the team that we expected them to be at the start of the season. And they played a really quality game to get past Giants in the end. So, yeah, four good games over the weekend, and I'm sure plenty more to look forward to as we look forward to round 10. You have Vixens versus Swifts. No, Vixens, I'm sure, will have their tails up coming off that win over number one ranked Lightning. Swifts also confident after being the only team to beat Fever, so I'm sure it will be a fierce battle. Fever will face Lightning. Thunderbirds will face Firebirds in the Battle of the Birds, and then the Magpies will go up against Giants. I'm going to be brave and I'm going to tip Swifts for the win, Fever for the win, Firebirds for the win, and I'm going to tip everyone knows I'm going to tip Magpies to beat Giants in the final game of the round. So good games coming up, and please be sure to tune in and follow all those games. All right, so we just I'm here alone, guys, so we're really not having a long show tonight. So I'm just trying to get through all the information as quickly as possible. So let's move over to the ANZ Premiership. We're at round 12, just 3 more rounds to go, and as you know, they play a different style of semi-final system where first place, if you top the ladder, you go straight to the final, and then the second and third ranked team will play off in the minor semi-finals, and the winner will play the first ranked team in the finals. So at the moment, Mystics is sitting pretty at the top of the ladder. They have now beaten Stars 3 times this season, so they're looking quite comfortable. And as we talk about so often, the combination between Wiki and Tuyava is growing, and it's just magical to watch. And their defensive end, led by the informed Sulu Fitzpatrick, it's just amazing with whoever is out in front of her or combining with her, whether that is Kate Burley or the England Rose Ama Abeze. So they have a really solid team, and in my head, it's it's their season to lose. However, another team that I wanted to talk about is Steel. The Steel team, they're climbing, and they are currently sitting third at the ladder. I remember at the start of the season, I was saying Steel would come last or second to last, but they're now sitting in third place, and they're really developing some solid combination. The combination in the circle between George Fisher and Tiana Matura is growing from strength to strength. And last week, Fisher had a concussion and she missed the game, and a new girl came in and she slotted in the goal shooter beautifully. And you saw Captain Sanan Saunders lead the attack along with Matura, and they were just on fire. The other game of the round, we saw Magics go down again to Steel, and I mean Magic's, they're having a really hard season, and I feel for them, especially the Diamonds, the former Diamonds captain in Caitlin Bassett. She's I wouldn't say she's having a bad season, but combining as a team, I don't think the team has worked out effectively how to feed her as yet. And I think that's where they're struggling, because if you look down in their defensive end, they turn over a lot of ball. Irina Makari was on fire for them in that match that they lost against Steel. She was blocking shots. She was running out for screamers. She was deflecting the ball. She was catching all the well, not all, but some rebounds. So they're getting balls, but they just need to treasure it in their attack. And I think the extra pass are letting them down at the moment. Bassett is on, and I think if they can figure out a way to feed her, then they should be in a better place come next year or further down in the season. They have 3 rounds to go. Hopefully, they can fix it before the season is out. Also, I think the injury to Grace Cara really taking a toll on the Magic side as well, because whenever she's on court, she tends to find Bassett a lot easier than on the other than the other players. So yeah, it's a tough season for them, but I'm sure they're strong athletes and they will bounce back. However, the news coming out of their camp is that their coach has resigned, so they will have a new coach next year. Who that will be, I'm not sure. I'm putting Rob Wright in the mix for the coaching job there. I'm sure he doesn't want to stay as assistant coach at Mystics, even though he said he's loving it there. I'm sure he is, and you can see the impact that his coaching style has had on their team. But I'm sure he's used to being a head coach, and he'd probably want to go back in that role. So that's the netball roundup for this week, guys. I mean, I'm still looking in the comments. If there's anything you'd like to find out, anything you'd like me to discuss, you can leave a comment in and I can get on it. I'll spend maybe a minute or two more just waiting for comments. If not, we will call it a night, and I will join you back on Friday with the other pundits, hopefully, to discuss more things netball. So I know somebody just sent me a message. Somebody just sent me a message asking me about. All right, sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. So somebody just messaged me and was asking about the FanJam points. I know it's been 2 weeks now without an update, but I mean we're having some technical difficulties in the back office, but we are on it, and by tomorrow, I promise you'll get an update. I'll just ensure I liaise with the staff so they don't let me down, but I promise by tomorrow you'll get an update on that. And guys, Jiva Mentor, she plays her 200th game this weekend when the Magpies face Giants, and fittingly, she will be up against her English Rose teammate in Joe Harton. So that will be nice. So get behind Jiva. You can head over to her social media pages and send her your love. I mean, Jiva has been playing over 2 decades. She's been playing since she's 16 years old. She's now 36 years old. So Jiva's been around, and to be performing at the level that she is at this stage, yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and I mean, I'm finding it difficult to just get up out of bed repeatedly every morning, and I mean to get up and perform at the highest level for so long. The load that the body takes on to be able to compete at the level she is, it's amazing. And I think we must celebrate athletes like Jiva who have given so much to the sport and still have more to give. So get around Jiva, guys. Go over to our social media, send her a message, give her a shout out on your pages. If you have any clips with Jiva, you can share, tag her, and just help her to help her to know that we appreciate what she has done for the sport and what she continue to do for the growth of the sport. Yeah. So there's another question in the comment. All right, Carlene, welcome. What do you think about Khalifa's fit with the Magpies team? All right, so I mean, I'm a Khalifa fan, and I have been a Khalifa fan from I saw her first play for Trinidad a number of years ago when she was just a 16-year-old. But I mean, I heard that Magpies was going to sign Khalifa. Sorry, when I heard that Magpies was going to sign Khalifa, I was a bit skeptic about the decision to sign her. I was happy for her to be getting the opportunity to play in Suncor, but then I was a bit skeptic about her combination with Shimona with Fear because they're two young, raw Caribbean style players, and I mean, it sometimes takes a combination like that takes time to develop. So I think it can work, but at the moment you can see that it's just not where we would want it to be. Where their connection, if you notice, in the game over the weekend, most of the time Khalifa was just playing the ball to actually get it back instead of playing the ball to open Shimona for Shimona to get the pass under the pole, which that is their strength, the high ball into Shimona. But most of the time, Khalifa was just looking for a pass out to get it back, and sometimes they lost the ball trying to make that extra pass instead of going over the top to Shimona. So it's not that their combination cannot work. It's just that a combination based on their style of play will take a lot more time to develop. So yeah, I think more court time as well would help her. I know it's difficult given the competitive nature of the season, but I think with more court time, um, the combination could develop more. Hmm. Thank you, Carlene. Yes, yes, FanJam bat lost. So all those persons who were hoping to have a bat, who were bathing in the bat glory from early season, sorry to disappoint. Um, they had a really good season, however, and I'm sure they are walking away feeling proud of what they were able to accomplish. It just didn't come together in the end, and I mean, sometimes when it's not your day, it's just not your day. And Lightning take nothing away from them. They deserve that win, and they played their hearts out for that win. All right, I think we should be about good now. I don't see any more questions. Producers, am I missing anything? Is there anyone on the live that would like to come on and share anything? Thank you, Carlene. You're a superstar yourself. Thank you for joining as usual. We love having you on. All right, guys. So that's a wrap for tonight. I'm going to call it quits for tonight. But remember, join us back here next week. I will be here. All right, hold on. There's a question as I'm about to go. Shines Thompson, Thunderbirds or Firebirds this weekend? All right, so I'm going to go. These are two good teams, the Battle of the Birds, I call it, and both are coming off the back of a win. So they will be coming into this contest feeling really, really confident. But I'm going to back the sorry, oh my God. I'm going to back the Firebirds in on this one because I think Romella will be too strong under the pole. And there's something about Romella when she come up against the Jamaican. So whenever she plays against Shamira or Jody or Kaylee. I mean, she's like a superhuman in those games. So she's going to stand up for them, for the Firebirds. And I think with her, Gretel, and the form that Kim Rav is in, I think they'll be too much for the Thunderbird defense. So I'm going to tip the Firebirds. What say you, Shines? Are you also tipping the Firebirds, or you're going against me? All right, not a problem. So, if Firebirds win, you owe me a prize for next week. If not, if Thunderbird win, then you can come back for your prize next week. All right. All right. It's not always wise to go with your heart only, But all right, is it okay if they manage to win? I owe you a prize on next week's show. If not, you owe me a prize, and you can just do that by coming on and carry some friends. Yeah, man, definitely. I still think FIFA will win. I mean, this is only a dent in their season. They lost to Swift, who I think is the second best team in the competition, and who will also be in the grand final with them. And they would have learned a lot. They would have learned a lot from that loss against Swifts. As I said earlier in the show, you learn more from a loss than a win, oftentimes. So yeah, so they will learn from that loss to Swift, and they will come back even stronger. If Janelle don't like to lose. So I mean, if she have to lift that team on her head, they're going to get over the line. And I'm happy the loss came early season, well, mid-season, so they have time to correct those wrongs going into the final round. You always go with your heart, Kurt. Really? I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't know if I always go with my heart. It's a little bit of both for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, that's all the time I have, guys. I would love to stay and chat with you for the entire night. That's all the time I have. But thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Shines. Thank you, Carlene. Thank you, FanJam. Thank you guys for joining in the comment as well. Oyster, everyone that's here, thank you guys for joining in. Really love it. So it's out for now. See you next week.